Um, okay, so a couple of things on this. The one is we're going to hear, we have lots of great community members and leaders here, so we're going to have several folks speak to this, especially because it's been such a big and long-term project. So I'll announce them kind of as we go through, and we're also going to touch a little bit on BMX, and so which is part of this project. And let me, I think, begin by just acknowledging our city councilor, Diane Gibson, and she'll be speaking a little bit. We're also joined by three area champions who love this project. Our Senator Ortiz Pino, Representative Christine Trujillo, and Representative Liz Thompson, lives right across the street. And also Representative Mimi Stewart, lives right across that street. Senator, you know why that was a slip. Back in the day, you know, yes, Senator Pro Tem Mimi Stewart, and her chief of staff is here, Sanders. Sanders waving. All right, great. So we'll sprinkle in some more stories, but let's do this. Let me check on the wind here if I can check on that a little bit. That might be a little better. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the pro tip. Literally. That's awesome. All right. That's the one Albuquerque spirit. Okay. Mental note, we should get some of those. All right. Thank you. Okay. So let's see here. All right. So what we're going to do is, first and foremost, we're basically groundbreaking the renovation of Los Altos Park. It has been a long time coming, a long time needed. We're going to have 5 new softball fields. There's only 4 here now. We're adding another one, and we're fixing the rest of them up. And we are going to have a 300-foot home run fence with 150 fans per field. And I think most importantly to the modernized concept is it's just going to be tournament ready and friendly, whether it's for parking or a concession, all of these other amenities, because we know softball tournaments actually are part of economic development. And being the biggest city in 1,000 square miles, we want every softball tournament to be in Albuquerque. And a little bit of history, I'm sure others will share some, but you know, Los Altos, I mean, I literally played Little League here. And then I played adult softball here. I had a memorable 7th grade date at that Sonic. And anyway, we'll leave it at that, I guess. But this is an iconic park for our city. And we have always talked about lifting up all of Albuquerque. We know, like, you know, we talk a lot about the rail yards downtown and things like this, but we've got the baseball complex on the west side. And so on the east side, this is core to lifting up and investing the east side. And of course, this was also my state Senate district. And so back in the day with the folks behind us, we all said, we got to fix up Los Altos. And so we're finally getting the job done. And even behind me, these restaurants and these hotels, that's why they're here. So like originally when Los Altos was built, it was a magnet for tournaments, food, and tourism, especially regional New Mexico tourism. And so this is also going to reinvigorate that whole side of Eubank as well. That's the game plan. So other things like new restrooms, you know, refurbished dog park, and new horseshoe complex with 20 courts. There is still a strong horseshoe constituency that we want to make sure and take care of, and a new playground. So as you can hear with little kids behind me, you know, every park going forward, we try and have a substantial playground for families and kids. So we believe that folks from all over the country are going to be able to enjoy this facility. And of course, it's going to still have a skate park, and we'll be kind of retouching and refurbishing that. But even though I know there's been public safety issues at that park, it is still wildly popular, and people do love it. And so we want to make sure we continue that tradition. And also a BMX pump track, so we'll talk about that, but that's sort of another amenity that we want to have. We have one on the west side. We want to have one now on the east side. And so with more on all of this, we're fortunate to have a city councilor who's been pushing this since she got started, since her and I were both door knocking all around Los Altos Park trying to get elected. And so let me hand it over to District 7 Councilor Diane Gibson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for everybody for coming out for this this is really a momentous occasion. It's taken us a long time to get here, but I'm so glad to be breaking ground today after really what feels like a very long time and beginning a project that is going to transform this already beautiful but aging park, just like me. So my first briefing for parks when I came on board in late 2013 was with the then director, Barbara Baca, who wanted to be here, by the way, but something came up. She wasn't able to make it. So she showed me the renderings that came from Morrow Reardon, and we took a look at them, and I could really get an idea of the scope of what it was going to be like. And there were three slightly different plans, but over the years, now 7.5 years later, we've already completed a big part of that original plan, because we have a beautiful swimming pool building, plus amenities, plus state-of-the-art environmental systems within it. So we got that portion done and opened that, I believe it was October of 2019, I believe. Anyway, so now it's time to give love to the rest of the park. In the past 2 years, though, a lot of planning and design has been done, and it's been ongoing. There have been meetings on a regular basis, and I need to really offer my personal thanks, heartfelt thanks, to all of those folks from the DMD, from Parks and Rec Department, the Northeast Fleet APD Northeast Command, Morrow Reardon, Greer Stafford. We also had High Mesa and BG Building Works for their time and commitment and devotion to the detail that it takes to rebuild a beautiful park. So public projects, particularly large ones, require intergovernmental partners with funding from different sources. Mayor Keller initiated a bond sale that brought $10 million to this park. And we have streets and road funding that will help finance the motorways and multi-use paths that we will see once this is all renovated and built out. There's Director Baca right there. See, she's shaking her hands. She was always on time when she was a city employee.
You can come up here, Barbara, if you want.
Come up here. So this is part of the partnerships I'm talking about. So she was the one. This is a former director, Barbara Baca, and she was the one who got Morrow Reardon to start looking at renovations for the park. I believe that happened in 2012. So, like I said, where was I? Oh yeah, so we did the bond sale. We're going to use street monies to doing the multi-use trails, the street, the spine. I don't know if you've seen the drawings yet, but there's going to be a really remarkable, beautiful sign that's going to be running through the park. And not last but not least, this past legislative session, our friends in the legislature came through for us in a very big way with capital outlay of $1.5 million. And I am so grateful to our legislators for their vision and their generosity towards us. They've helped the city and District 7 with so many other critical projects that simply could not be done without their help. So I'd like to thank them by name, publicly, recorded, because it's just been so meaningful to work with all of these legislators who work so hard and believe in us. So Representative Liz Thompson, Representative Debbie Sarignana, Representative Christine Trujillo, Representative Stansberry, has a different title now, but we're so grateful for her help. Senator Stewart, and as we know that Sanders Moore is here representing her. And I talked with Senator Stewart last night, and she was really sorry. She really wanted to come out here, but she had other pressing business to take care of. Senator Tallman, Representative Chasey, Representative Marion Matthews, Representative Figueroa, Senator Ortiz-Pino, also back there, Senator Cedillo Lopez, Representative Armstrong, and Representative Dixon. So, some of them will be speaking here in just a minute. But in order, a really important point I want to make here, in order for a park to be active, to be a successful park, it has to be used by a diversity of park users. And you know, for purposes of this, well, I'm just going to talk about it just, you know, like families and families with kids and senior citizens and as well as young adults, just people, all kinds of people who live in the neighborhood, who live in city, or who will be coming in from out of town. But all of these folks must have a level of trust and feel comfortable and safe at the park. There are 3 schools within about a half a mile here. We have Grant Middle School, we have Kennedy Middle School, and Hawthorne right across the highway here. We want to encourage their use of this park as well, and that requires some special care. To make that happen, our city budget going in to this next fiscal year has $300,000 for overall park security, parks throughout the United States, throughout the city. Additionally, I was able to fund in this general fund budget 2 full-time security positions that are dedicated solely to this park. They'll have quick access to all areas of the park by an electric golf cart, and the city, this is important, that we all have to believe in this because it's so very true. The city protects its investments and all of the people who enjoy them. Finally, I want to thank everyone here. You came out here, you're showing me that you believe in this renovation as a wise investment in our future and the future of Albuquerque and for the health and the welfare of our entire community and for the value that it will bring us in sports tourism. Great things are coming. Thank you so much. And we have one representative. I hope this is okay, Mayor. We have one representative who needs to leave early. Christine Trujillo?
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
I am standing. I like the way everybody rushes to lower the microphone.
I had a good vantage point of.
Yeah. Well, I think it's still morning, isn't it? Just about. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Councilwoman, and my colleagues from the legislature. This is a great day. All I know is that when Diane Gibson, Councilor Diane Gibson, calls me, she says, "We need money," I have to hustle it up. And the good thing about it is that we get together with Albuquerque area, other colleagues, legislators, and we try to coordinate how much money we can gather so that we can devote to and donate to worthy causes like this one. I know this has been a long time coming. I know that everyone's been waiting anxiously to finally get the ball rolling. I'm excited about the list of activities and events that are going to be able to occur here. I believe you won't have to walk around anymore with dust up to your knees, or red dust up to your knees like you are today, because we are kicking it up. The good thing about it is that this is well planned and well coordinated, and I am just one tiny wheel in the process. I don't think cog is the right word, but a wheel. And I am really grateful that I was able to help donate. Thank you very much. I apologize, but I do have to leave. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And also another thank you so much, Representative. Another representative from right across the street, Liz Thompson.
And thank you, Mr. Mayor. My 2-year-old granddaughter has decided she wants to sit in the tractor. So so whoever has the keys, she's requesting it. So this actually is my district here. I honestly live almost about 3 blocks away, just the other side of Lomas. I have spent a lot of time at this park, not as an athlete. The year in college I was a basketball player. I was gonna join my sister and play City League softball, and I dislocated my patella and ripped all the soft tissue in my knee and said, I guess this is not my softball year. Yes. So, but my dad played here. He played senior softball essentially till he died. He was 75 when he died of cancer, and one of his favorite things was to come here and hang out with the old guys and play softball. He played senior league softball. So this place has a really special place in my heart. And Athena, who knows what she'll be, but I imagine she'll get plenty of use out of this park as well. So I want to thank the mayor, and particularly, as Representative Trujillo said, Councilwoman Gibson, she calls up and says, Liz, we need to find some money for Los Altos, and we seem to do it. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for who've done the hard work to do this, and I can't wait for this to be a showplace for Albuquerque. Thank you.
Thank you so much, representatives, and what a great example of that team spirit, that one Albuquerque spirit. And I would just add a couple of points. There is a design behind, kind of right there, if folks do want to see it, and you can see this amazing sort of main street that's built into the program. I also want to mention that in all of the redesign, it's all based on a public safety oriented redesign, so that there's, access for, whether it's security and so forth. And so there's a lot embedded in here that we think is going to keep it much safer for generations to come, in addition to just a bunch of new lighting and more visibility. And the more people that use it, the more people that get to keep using it. That's something that we've seen the opposite trend of, historically at Los Altos. So to hear more about the design and aspects of this, there's been a huge city effort too. So a project this big takes at least 2 departments. And DMD folks, give us a wave. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Parks and Rec folks, I know there's a couple. Thank you. So these, in addition with our counselor and everyone else, it's really 10 years in the making. But wonderfully, counselor and I, when we had this transportation funding and so forth, it was like, what, let's actually just get this done. And so luckily the legislature stepped up, and then the voters did with respect to the transportation funding. And so we really appreciate that. So more on the details, our Director of Municipal Development, Pat Montoya.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll introduce Dave Simon in just a minute, who will give you sort of the real details of what the project is going to look like. My role this afternoon is to come before you and thank everyone that participated in this. I want to start by thanking the mayor and the administration. We were challenged with making this happen as quickly as we could. It's part of a $170 million effort that the mayor initiated to get money out on the streets during this COVID time, to get people to work and to get projects completed. So the mayor and the chief administrative officer, Lawrence Royale, and others, we just want to thank you for allowing DMD to be part of this project, and Dave will explain the specifics in just a minute. I also want to thank Councilor Gibson and council staff. The councilor was very instrumental, as the mayor mentioned, in getting this project moving forward. She took on the challenge and made sure that it was going to happen, and because of that, that's why we're here today. I want to thank a couple of individuals in advance of introducing, or I'll have the mayor introduce Dave, but Mark Motzko is the CIP official with DMD, and Anthony Villanueva is the project manager. He's the individual that'll be out here day in and day out, making sure that the contractor and others are working effectively and efficiently to make this project happen. I want to thank Dave Simon and his crew for doing the advance work before we actually start construction of the fields and the buildings that are going to go into this site. So Dave and your crew, thank you so much. Brian Verardo with Miller, Morrow Reardon Wilkinson Miller. Brian is out here. They added another M to that since I came back to the city, so I always forget to add the M, but they have been extremely helpful to making this project happen. They have just gone above and beyond to make it all work, so we want to thank you as well. and then just the public as well for allowing us to have this on the ballot in order to fund this project, as well as the quarter-cent money that we're using to build the interior roadway system. All of that is going to make this site one of the best in the city, if not in the region. So we're quite excited come spring, mid to late spring, when we'll have tournament play here for the spring season. So with that, Mayor, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this project, and we look forward to seeing you here again in March or April when we actually ground break or actually ribbon cut for the project itself.
Okay, and we're very fortunate to have the bookends of our Parks and Rec departments at the beginning of the project, former director Barbara Baca, and then also our current director, Dave Simon. And so, Dave, why don't you come on up and tell us what all's in part of this project?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Mayor. I'm the Director of Parks and Rec. I'm also the starting shortstop for the Hebrew national softball team, which I'm quite proud of. That's right. And we all have our memories of this place because it served so much of our community for so many years. And I have a couple of great memories here from Los Altos. Most of them involve me like hitting a home run with my eyes closed or something here. But it's a great park, and it's going to get even better thanks to the leadership of our city. So I want to really thank the mayor for his going all in on this massive renovation of the park, and of course for Councilor Gibson and all of her team of supporters who have advocated for this project for a decade. And Councilor Gibson's support for this project has been unwavering. So that's what gets us to the day today. You know, I was so excited that on this past Sunday, the 6th, we restarted our adult softball leagues, and our parks are busy again with this great sport. And you know, it's wonderful to hear the sights and sounds of America coming back, like the crack of the bat and the slap of the ball in the leather glove. And while we're not going to hear those sounds here at Los Altos for a few months, when we come back next spring for play, it's going to be absolute dynamite. And we are ready to hit a home run with this Phase 1 renovation of Los Altos Park. So the park obviously offers a lot for everyone in our community. You know, the park is really located at an important junction in our community. Albuquerque, as the mayor often points out, is a crossroads. This park itself is a crossroads in our community, and it draws in people from all over the city, and it offers so many things to different people. In addition to the softball fields, we obviously have a dog park here, the swimming pool, newly renovated thanks to Councilor Gibson's help, also the skate park, the horseshoe pits, and more. And this park plays such an important role for all of these outdoor recreation activities in our city. Now, as we get into the details of the renovation, you've heard that one of the big moves here is we're going to be adding in a 5th softball field to the 4 that we have now. This is going to be a softball game changer for Los Altos and Albuquerque. The 5th field is going to enhance the capacity to the point where we can add more teams to our leagues, play more games, and obviously support and host tournaments here that will bring tourism revenue to our city. The new fields are going to be 300-foot fence distance, which will obviously put them out of reach of my bat. But they're going to be set up for spectators, and we're going to have a wonderful new community building in the middle of the fields, which will kind of be in this pinwheel design with concessions and community meeting rooms. Another feature that Councilor Gibson and I very much were in agreement on the need for is to make this park truly useful to the community in every respect. Los Altos is going to return to becoming an incredible, attractive venue to tournaments from across the region, and cementing Albuquerque's place and reputation as a year-round destination for outdoor sports and recreation. Now, the demo that Director Montoya spoke about is commencing today, As you can see, park construction crews have already begun dismantling the fencing around the park. That is their first task, is to unroll most of the fencing. Then they'll pull up the posts that you see all throughout the park. I don't know how many posts there are, but there's a lot of them. And then we'll begin to remove the sod, the grass that's here. Now, a great feature of this project, which our parks construction crew will also be spearheading, is we're going to try to recycle as much of the material as we can coming out of the demolition. This includes the metal, the fencing, the posts themselves, and perhaps even the sod, which we might be able to recycle into organics, compost, and other uses for our city. So this project is going to keep on giving even throughout the demolition. These fields, once they're at their new distance, are going to be tournament certified dimensions, but they're also going to be playable and convertible for both men's and women's softball. So they're going to be suitable for all levels of play, and our staff is going to be prepared to install temporary fencing to make shorter fields as required by the particular level of softball. So as the mayor mentioned, there are going to be other exciting projects coming in the future phases of the renovation. And when this project is complete, a little over a year from now, Los Altos is going to be bigger, it's going to be better and safer and rejuvenated for future generations. Thank you very much.
Well put, Director Simon. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do is we want to share with you a little bit about Phase 2. And so we're going to queue up a little bit about BMX. And Calvin is here from Duke City BMX. And then we're going to, I think there were a few questions. We'll try a few questions, but then we'll get to our actual groundbreaking with those shovels out there behind you. So I'm going to don the gloves. These were awesome. The city has a BMX track, if you don't know that, a pump track professionally. And now we need the recreation version for the next generation. So with that, come on up.
Cool, thanks Mr. Mayor. My name is Calvin. I'm a big-time BMX guy here in Albuquerque. And just wanted to give a shout out to Miss Gibson, our counselor. She's been great to work with. We're super excited about our pump track. It's going to have a cool opportunity for actually some Red Bull World Championship events. That's going to be really rad. I bet we'll probably get some people from around the country, maybe even around the world here. The best / coolest part about the pump tracks, if you don't know what they are, they're paved, they're all rollable, and so little kids like my daughter here can get out there and ride on their push bikes, kids on scooters, and of course us big guys on our bikes can go super fast too. And anyways, the community is really excited about it. We've been super involved in the design process, so if you guys could just hurry up with the other stuff, that'd be great. Thanks, and appreciate you guys. Oh, sorry.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, and very exciting for us as a city and part of our general all things cycling, whether it's mountain biking or BMX or street cycling that we're continuing to roll out over the summer. So with that, we can take a couple of questions from folks. Johnny, take it away.
Start with Brittany Costello with KOB.
Yeah, I had a question. You guys mentioned safety and security out here. I know that's been an issue with people, the transient population, the trash, the drugs. But I wanted to ask, two-part question. Since you guys put up the fence, have you had the same issues, the same number of calls to 311 for the transient population and the drugs? And then the second part question, obviously you guys mentioned protecting your investments. You mentioned security, but I'm wondering what will prevent this same issue from coming back once this is complete?
Sure. Well, let me take a shot at it, and Dave Simon might have some additional aspects to add. So we have definitely seen, since we announced construction and had to start fencing things off, less vagrancy in the area, but there's still a lot. So, but we've got to do that for safety reasons and so forth. But the idea in general with many of our parks is the more active they are, the safer they are. And so that's something that goes for any facility that we have. And we do see the most active facilities tend to be the safest. And Civic Plaza is a good example where it has gotten much, much better since we redesigned it, added a fountain and a playground, and have events there. And so it's a similar logic with this, but there all are some basics like line of sight, so that we make sure there aren't, areas where different people can hide, do drugs, things like that, and then also lighting, and that's why the design is so important for this.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just supplement quickly. A major principle undergirding this entire renovation is crime prevention through environmental design, and many aspects of our plan are using these principles both passively and actively to make the park safer when it will reopen. So as the mayor said, lighting, sight lines, pushing our features into the corners of the park so that every corner of the park is busy and makes a useful contribution to the park. And of course, as Councilor Gibson mentioned, we are anticipating having dedicated city security staff assigned to Los Altos Park. We are building an office and a command post for them smack into the middle of the park, and we anticipate having security here posted at the park. All of that combined with the activities in the park, the eyes and ears of the public, and strong support from APD, I think Los Altos Park is going to be a tremendously safe and secure place when we're back here in a year and a half.
Kenny, do you have anything, or does that answer for you?
That was an answer for a question, but I do have a question about Los Altos Skate Park. You talked about the security that's going to be around full time, traveling back and forth, but is there going to be security that's going to be managing the skate park at a more higher level there? Because I know that's a little bit more worse.
Yes. So we'll have 24/7 security that includes the skate park and the BMX pump track when it's ready.
Are the hours of operation going to change, or?
That's a good question. I think the hours, well, first off, we'll wait and see after construction how that all plays out. And whether we go like sunset to sunrise or whether there's actually a set time. Those tend to be the two methods that we use, or if there's a planned event that goes later. But with 24/7 security, we're going to have a lot of flexibility.
Anything else?
Yeah. Wu-Tang.
On the drawing, is there a walking path on there, or was that considered?
This is just phase one.
Councilor Gibson's on it. So there are walking paths woven in there. And again, what's highlighted is just phase one. So the BMX track is over where phase two, which is the words phase two. And if anyone really wants, we do have designs, architectural designs for phase two. Sure.
Can you guys talk a little bit about attendance, leading up to this kind of announcement as far as how many people, how many tournaments would you guys have here, and how does that compare to, maybe when you first did it? I mean, will you just talk about the progression or regression, whichever?
Sure. So I'll tee up Dave Simon for some numbers he might have off the top of his head for softball leagues and participants. But one thing that we have seen nationally, and actually the previous administration studied this, is that the desire for regional softball, baseball, and basketball tournaments, the demand for those has gone way up. And we're not really sure why that is, in a sense like in America, but that's what we refer to when we say sports tourism. And so that kind of aspect, both for adults and teenagers, is on the rise all over the country. And we currently lose out to whether it's like Phoenix or Denver, the usual suspects. But just like with concert venues, we are a day's drive in between all those cities. So like this is one, if we build it, they will come because they're driving through here and spending the night anyway.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just offer a couple of data points to you about visitation and use. First of all, we have over 3,000 adult softball players in leagues in this city. Almost all of them wind up playing at Los Altos Park at some point during their seasons. So this is an extremely busy park for that sport. Our new rejuvenated pool, again, is now, I believe, the second most popular aquatic facility in the city, second only to the West Mesa Aquatic Center, which is a little bit larger anyway. So the new pool is getting tremendous reviews and a great deal of use. And with respect to the progression, you know, in 2019, we hosted here 19 girls fast pitch tournaments alone that used Los Altos Park. This almost doubled the number of girls fast pitch tournaments that we had helped to organize and host over the preceding year. So we had tremendous progress and we had fantastic momentum, you know, going into 2020 when obviously, you know, we had to put our gloves and bats down for a little while. But I think all of that bodes extremely well. I'm very optimistic that we'll not only pick up where we left off with high visitation at Los Altos, but we're going to exceed it by leaps and bounds.
All right. Thank you guys. Let's get ready for the groundbreaking.
All right, thanks everybody.
Yeah, the full plan, we can get you that if you need it. It just emphasizes, this one just emphasizes phase one. They're walking paths around and through.
Thank you.
I forgot I had the flag up there.